I'm asking you to do a thought experiment. Would you condemn a book, if I wrote my own religious book and said that it was okay to have slaves today, would you condemn my teaching? It's a thought experiment. Yes. Right, so you have a problem with Islam. I'll tell you why you're scared of an answer. Because Muslims have a script, and the moment you take them off the script, they're clueless and they panic. We will talk about your prophet. You talk about your prophet.
My mother.
Walid.
My mother many times. All the time.
No, I don't
about honor and respect.
anyone insulted me, you need to get insulted, Reggie. You fucked up. You fucked up.
Hey, calm your voice, man. Calm your voice.
You fucked up. Hey, you fucked up. Don't touch him. Don't touch him.
So what did he do
Don't
to
touch
him?
anyone.
What did he do to him?
You touch it more.
What did he do
Don't
to
touch
him?
more.
What did he do to him? Oh, you're telling him not to touch? You see the hypocrisy of the Muslims in the park? This behaviour that you see here today. What are you doing? Why are you getting aggressive with an elderly man? Why are you getting aggressive with You see how your prophet has failed you.
You slapped the
You
people
see how
before,
your prophet has
You slapped the people
failed
before,
you.
Bombay.
He's pushing an old
You slapped the
man.
people before.
Look at how your prophet has failed you. Your prophet has failed you. Look at him. Look at him. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Officer. This gentleman. This gentleman. He's assaulted number. He's assaulted.
I saw him slap someone straight in the face.
He's literally trying to score.
He's run away.
Look at him.
What? Provoking people?
Is that guy over there? People and now he's run away. He's shown himself to be the coward we know him to be.
Maybe not inflame things right now. Wait, just bring it down a bit. Bring it down a bit, man. We need to inflame.
Let's chill out.
Let's chill out. Come on. No.
Yes, he's calm down, bro. Calm down.
I'm not the one who's calm down. He attacked an old man.
Right here.
Yeah.
Fair enough, he wasn't here. He attacked an old man. That guy over there. He's in the red shirt.
He attacked an old man. Where's the old man now?
There.
He's over there.
But he also slapped this guy as well.
Yes, he slapped him on the cheek.
Slapped him on the cheek.
Calm down, yeah? Fuck it.
I know it's bad.
He's scarfed.
I know. It'll be on camera. That's not what this place is about. Yeah. It's not good. I'm sorry you had to deal with that, bro.
I can't even throw a punch, man.
I would say do it, but we're in public. You know what I mean? I would do it, but I would not do it now. Your temper, they win.
Yeah, don't bite.
Because the thing is, multiple times in multiple weeks, they've exposed how their ideology fails them. And that is why they try to get riles out of Christians. Because then they can go, oh, well, everybody does it. Yeah? So, self-control. Remember self-control.
Arif, give us an analysis, Arif. Tell us.
Be calm. So this, they pushed this guy and he slapped this guy in the face. Disgusting. And now the cowards have run away.
I didn't see
The problem is the man that assaulted another man. That's the problem.
I got to say, but my back was behind, so I don't see anybody. From the
Sorry, be careful, but I don't want to ruin your film. This is the thing. What you see in the park every single week, if these Islamists ever dominate our society, will happen to all of us. Every single one of us. What you're seeing in the park is a microcosm of what happens when Islam dominates a society. Christians are persecuted. And if you don't believe me, liberal progressives and do-gooders, well, tell me, which Islamic society are Christians not persecuted? Which one? Tell me which one. Because they're persecuted across the entire Islamic world. And what you see is that when the Muslims dominate an environment, they start to persecute those in the minority. And this is why, as Christians, we must rediscover a muscular Christian faith. And this is why, as Christians, we need to challenge the failed ideology of the liberal progressives who simply refuse to see the problem. You can see it, it's documented every single week. Every single week. You just gotta wake up, guys. You just gotta wake up.
But you generalize all of us. We all pedophiles, we all rapists, we all bad. We show love.
Not all. Not all.
You are a hate preacher.
Just the Islamists.
I don't know how the church
Just the Islamists.
Which church
Just
is the
the
only
Islamists.
you represent?
The problem with you
slapped the
is that you
Quran.
only
How
hear
you represent a
and you
religion?
only see
How come you represent
what
a
you
religion,
want
bro?
to hear
How come
and
you
what
represent
you
a
want to
religion?
see.
How come you
And I'm
slap
going to
someone with
prove
the
him
Quran?
wrong
Okay.
right now.
This religious
Is
man.
a translation
This
of
the religious
Quran.
man, the church sent him.
Answer that.
This one to slap
Is
people
the
with the Quran.
translation of Quran?
That's your sect, that's
Answer
your
the
religion.
question.
You are terrorist like
Is the
Khartoum, man.
translation of
You are a
Quran?
terrorist like Khartoum.
But
You
let's
don't
have
He's
a
debate.
unwilling. He's
We
unwilling.
don't debate, we talk
Walid
about
is
the
unwilling.
violence in the park.
Because this is
You
Walid.
and your group are
All he
the
does is he
violence
wants
there.
to shout.
You are bringing the
He's incapable of having a conversation.
Oh, Walid, let's have a conversation.
Walid, you're incapable of having a conversation.
I can have conversation
You
with good
are
people.
incapable of having a conversation. So
wake up.
We Muslim, we don't agree with
we
what you say,
started
you know?
the day
We don't agree
with a Muslim threatening a Christian, saying, "Shall I make you on the? Shall I put you on the news? I never leave mine at home." And trying to intimidate multiple Christians. We end the day with a Muslim assaulting an old man and attacking another Christian brother. How many more times must we see this before we recognize that the Islamists are the problem? And it's the Islamists that need to be dealt with. Yes, go on.
Muslims, not Islam.
No, I said the Islamists. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, thank you. That's
It's
correct.
individuals. Don't say
That's
Islamists.
correct.
It's not all of them.
So, you've got to rediscover a muscular Christian faith. Now, because some people have not understood what I've said, let me make it crystal clear. I am not saying all Muslims are violent.
Thank you.
I am not saying that all Muslims are bad people. I am saying that those Muslims who are peaceful and good people are so despite their religion, not because of their religion. And that those who are violent and supremacist are so because their religion teaches it so. That's what I'm saying.
What about Tony Blair's violence? Now, Tony Blair, what religion does he belong? I don't believe he belongs to any religion. But forget about. Let's talk about Tony Blair. Tony Blair was responsible for 1 million people dying in the Middle East, for more than 1 million.
So,
And I wouldn't even say he's a Christian. He could try and claim he is, but he can't be. The lies that he's told, all those people that have lost their lives, lost their limbs.
let me address this point, because there is a false equivalence being created by people.
Why you need debate?
The violence that is inspired by the teachings of the Quran and the actions of Muhammad is based upon their prophet. What happens with Tony Blair is a secular liberal politics. The equivalence is a false one. It's comparing apples and coal.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, like, he should be out. I did that original shoot, yes.
You can't blame Muslims. Just one action of a Muslim person that is meant to be a Muslim insult someone. You can't say all Muslims are the same. It's
So
absurd.
maybe in that situation,
You know what I
you
mean?
might deserve
It's
it.
absurd.
Do you know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. Just
So
have a debate.
I'm sorry. Your equivalence is a false one. Your equivalence is a completely false one, because you're equivocating based upon the secular politics of a liberal democracy compared to the inspired violence of a religious text. Those things are not the same. We Christians have 1400 years of history of what it means to be persecuted under Islam. And I'm not having you tell me my history. If you want to know what Christians
So what
went
about
through,
Christian countries
one
bombing
second.
Muslims' lands?
Which
What is
Christian
that?
country? Which Christian country?
Well, Britain, America.
Right. America is a secular state, not a Christian one.
But I'm saying
The
is,
United
it says-
Kingdom.
Yeah, but its whole constitution
The United.
is in
no,
the name of
no.
God. It says in God we
No,
trust.
no,
That's
no.
their whole constitution.
You know, it isn't in the Constitution. Let's be clear. The Constitution, and this is the problem, is that you don't get your equivalence that you're making. The United States is a secular liberal country. It separates church and state. It's in the Constitution to separate church and state.
All right, you're going
Okay?
on the technicalities, I understand.
No, it's not a
Okay, but
technicality,
Tony
it's a
Blair-
fact.
Tony Blair claimed that he's a Christian, right? And he is responsible
Yep.
for killing many people in the Middle East.
Right.
His actions, and you know, as I say, his false accusations about the weapons of mass destruction
Yep.
and not giving, as I say, not willing to give hands next time.
Yep.
Basically, as I say, down to his actions, many Muslims died. Many Muslim people lost
So,
their
so
lives
let's
and
talk.
lost their limbs.
And this again is
So-
this is a false equivalence, because Tony Blair is not a prophet. Tony Blair is not a religious figure. A more accurate comparison. A more accurate comparison.
I would say he's not.
All right, he's not even listening.
I am listening.
So I'll talk to someone else. So a more accurate comparison would be to compare. Are you even listening? Are you listening? So a more accurate comparison is to compare Tony Blair to the president of Turkey. That would be a more accurate comparison. What would be an inaccurate comparison?
trying to demonise Islam all the time. You're doing your
what
best
would
to
be
demonise
an
Muslims.
inaccurate
but you're doing your
comparison?
best to-
What would be
It's wrong.
an inaccurate comparison? Would be to compare Tony Blair to Muhammad. I am attacking Muhammad's example and Muhammad's teaching. I have already said on record multiple times that many Muslims are better than their prophet, better than Muhammad, because they don't do what Muhammad says they can do, like own and sell slaves. Now let me ask you this question. Do you have an objection to the slave trade?
Well,
Answer the
it's
question.
it's a complicated. And of course.
So you do or you don't? I'm not clear.
Of course,
Do you?
I'm totally against.
Right.
Of course, but
So
we've
you-
got modern slavery.
So
we've got exploitation.
So one
of
second.
workers
Would
in
you
this country.
condemn a religious book that teaches slavery for today?
Well, I can't.
Answer the question.
I haven't. To be honest with you, I'd have to. You're coming out with these accusations.
I'm asking
and I
you to
can't
do a
really-
thought experiment.
Well, I'd have
Would
to-
you
I'd have to
condemn
go-
a book? If I wrote my own religious book and said that it was okay to have slaves today, would you condemn my teaching? It's a thought
Yeah,
experiment.
but you,
Yes. Right. So you have a problem with Islam.
I haven't read it properly.
Would
make
you?
that accusation.
Would you? If I started a political party today that said we're going to treat Muslims like dhimmis, and by dhimmis what I mean is they're a protected people that will have less legal rights than Christians, would you condemn that?
Well, I mean,
Answer the question.
the
Would
thing
you
is, if you
condemn
look
it?
if you look into any of these,
Would you condemn
if
it?
you look into any of these religious
not gonna-
books, if you look into any of these
Would you
religious
condemn
books,
it?
you're always going to find things that that
Would you
do not
condemn
make
it?
sense, or there's a contradiction,
Would you condemn it?
or they promote.
Would you
certain
condemn
things I
it?
disagree
Would
with.
you condemn it?
Condemn it.
But you know, look,
Would you condemn it?
But you can look into any of these books.
Would
and
you
you're just
condemn
using-
it?
I'm just trusting your.
No, my thought experiment was.
Have you
if
read
my
the Quran?
thought
Have you read the Quran then?
Yes. My thought
Have you-
experiment.
Why did you read the Quran?
Listen,
Why did
listen.
you pull your-
No, don't run away.
Well, why did you
Don't run
Why
away.
run away? I'm just asking you.
Don't
why
run
why you
away.
read the Quran.
Don't run
You
away.
claim to know so much
Listen,
about the Quran.
listen.
I'm wondering why you read it. Were
Listen.
you thinking of becoming a Muslim then? Were you
Listen to the
thinking-
thought
What were you
experiment.
thinking, or were you trying to find
Listen.
faults with
I
it?
was at the beginning, yes, and I rejected Islam because of the example of Muhammad.
Okay, so-
Now,
so you were
yes,
gonna
I've just
turn to
answered your question. Now answer my question that you have been avoiding.
fair.
If I wrote a book that said that Muslims should be treated legally as less worth than Christians, would you condemn it?
Of course, yeah.
Well, Islam teaches that. So you have a problem with Islam.
But then Christians also like that. In the Bible, it says if you don't believe
Okay,
in our
show me.
ideology, then you're
Show me.
show us,
you're not
Show
gonna
me
go
in
to
the New
heaven.
Testament.
No, but that's what it says.
Show
You've got to
me.
believe in Jesus.
Show me.
All the time.
Go on,
All the
show
time.
me.
These religious
Show
groups
me.
are saying the same.
Here you go.
They're saying if you
Show
don't
us.
go
Show
our
me.
way, you
Great
cannot go to heaven.
speech.
You can't.
Now your evidence. Great
Well,
speech.
that's what Christians, even in this
Great
all the time
speech,
are
now
doing.
your evidence.
They're always saying you've got to follow
Show us
Jesus.
the evidence.
Great speech. Now your evidence. Show me in the New Testament. Show me.
I mean, I'd have to go and
Google
we
it.
haven't
Get
got
out your
time.
Yeah,
phone.
Google it.
Google it. Google it now. Show me. Show me your evidence. Where does Jesus teach that a Muslim is worth less than a Christian?
Well, he wouldn't say it directly, but he's basically saying
Well,
if you
show
don't,
me
if
where
you
he
don't believe in
implies it.
Jesus, if you don't believe in Christian,
Show me where he
if you don't
implies
believe in
it.
Christianity, then you basically
Shall I tell you something?
you know,
Bro,
someone a non-believer.
Shall I correct you
You're
now?
not going to go to heaven.
Shall I correct you now?
That's what they say.
No. We're not talking about heaven and hell. We're talking about equality in the law. Pay attention.
No, but I'm still
We're
saying
talking
that
about
it's-
equality
yeah,
in the law. Pay attention.
I am paying attention.
Then
Yeah,
keep up with the argument.
No, I am
because
keeping up
you
with the
have a
argument.
problem with Islam because Islam
I haven't
teaches
got no problem with
slavery.
Islam. I've got
So
a problem
you don't
with
have
all-
a problem with
I've got
slave
a problem
trading?
with all the religious books because they think.
So you don't have a problem with slave trading?
Of course, I have a problem with slave trading.
If the Quran
I have
teaches
a
slave
problem.
trading, do you
I have a
condemn
problem.
that? Do you condemn that?
I have a problem with all these.
Do you condemn the Quran's teaching of slave trading?
It's written by man.
Answer that question.
Yeah, who and
Answer the
we're meant
question.
to trust their words.
Answer the
right?
question.
And governments
Answer the
have changed those
question.
books too many
Why are
times.
you running from the question?
Running,
If-
uncle.
look,
Stop spewing out the next platitude and engage with me in a conversation. I asked you. The Quran teaches the use and the selling and the buying of slaves. Do you condemn that? Yes or no?
I of course, I'd condemn slave trading. of
So,
course.
when he does it,
promotes
it's
that.
not
I can't say I
Islamophobia. But when I do it,
What happened?
it is Islamophobia.
Ah, okay.
How is your Islamophobia different from my Islamophobia?
You're anti-Islamic. Obviously, you're anti-Islamic. I'm not Islamophobic.
Do you think that it's right or
Are
wrong
you
to
scared
be
of
against
Muslims?
slave trade?
Are you scared of Muslims?
No,
'Cause
not
I'm
at all.
scared. Well, I'm
Not at all.
scared. Oh, well,
Not at all.
Then you're not Islamic.
Not, all right. Great.
Are you
Thank you.
anti-Islam? Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, okay,
I'm
well, that's the
anti-Islam.
difference.
I am
Yeah,
anti-Islam.
all these terms
but
that
I'm not
the same thing
Islamophobic.
with anti-Semitism. It's a
No,
false
no.
term.
You see, you're just jumping around.
No,
You're
I'm
not
just saying-
keeping up with the
No,
argument.
I'm
We
just
can both
mentioning
talk
about
over
these
one
terms.
another, and we can both do this, or we can have a conversation.
Yeah,
now,
conversation.
I
You're
want
trying to dominate the conversation. You're
because
trying to
you
dominate.
aren't capable of having a conversation,
But you're-
and when I
you're always
talk,
trying to-
you just continue
You're very
talking.
condescending. You're
You
very
just continue
condescending
talking.
person. You're not giving me
You
a chance.
state that because I criticize Islam for the same things that you criticize Islam for, that I am in the wrong. But yet you think it's okay for you to do it. That is the hypocrisy of the political elites in this country. They condemn slavery, but they won't condemn the Quran, which teaches slavery. And that is the difference between the Christian and muscular Christianity and our political elites.
Well, look at the
is that
transatlantic-
we
if you look at the
will
transatlantic
condemn
slave trade,
the slave
That was
trade
under
taught
Christianity
in the
and
Quran.
Judaism. You had Jews that were controlling the ships, that owned all the ships. The Jews, yeah, they owned all the ships.
The Jews did.
And the Christian and
The Jews owned all the ships.
The transatlantic slave trade was under Christianity, under Christian countries, England,
Right.
Spain.
Shall I show you how little you know?
Show him.
When was the first time slavery was abolished in England?
Well, that's. I mean, They've always
You
exploited,
can't just say you don't know.
They've always exploited.
When
cheap
was
labour,
slavery
slave labour,
abolished
even when they-
in England?
Even when they abolish things.
Answer
they
the
still- they were
question.
still slave-
Thank God.
Why are
It's
you
a-
not
it's a
answering the
deception,
question?
because it's a full
Oh,
of
it's a
lies.
deception
It's
to ask a
deception.
question
It's to
about
give the
history.
impression that they stopped slavery.
Let me tell
When
you,
it's not true.
slavery was
carried on.
first abolished in England in 1066. When was slavery first abolished in Saudi Arabia?
He knows.
When? When? When?
Slavery was first abolished in
1962. Why did Saudi Arabia abolish slavery?
Why, Bob?
Because the West forced them to.
Ah, the West.
That's the difference between Islam and Christianity. The liberals will condemn slavery, but they won't condemn a book that teaches slavery.
He likes to dominate.
Right, go on.
Go on.
Now ask your question.
So when did these Christian countries then adopt back to having a slave trade? What,
From about from about the 1700s. Now, what happened in the 1700s?
Okay, so it just goes.
What happened in the 1700s?
Tell me what.
The Enlightenment happened.
What enlightenment was that?
The Enlightenment was when Europe decided to put Christianity onto the back burner and to follow the philosophies of men. And that is why the West readopted slavery.
What's 1066 got to do with
Christians have abolished slavery multiple times in multiple places over 2,000 years. Islam has never abolished slavery.
Never.
Now,
hundreds of years later?
when I condemn slavery, you applaud me. When I condemn the book that teaches slavery, you condemn me. But you would condemn slavery yourself.
We would stay in slavery. You got some nerve. You shouldn't even whisper
Islam
the word
has
slavery.
practiced slavery for 1400 years.
Can
I show you a
Do you
Bible?
condemn that?
Saying Britain
And then
abolished
came
slavery.
Africa
I look at Bible
like
verse?
you're a
to
demon.
pretend that they actually did abolish
Slavery. You
slave
shouldn't
trade.
even whisper the
Can you
word
show me in
slavery.
the New
Bible.
Testament?
They carried
I don't know,
on
he's not used to
Can you
that.
show me in the New
cheap slave
Testament?
trade.
Can you show me in the New Testament where it teaches we should own
I
slaves?
said
Go
Bible.
to the app. Go to your.
Well, I
did. I want to know if it's in his book.
How
I
he
honestly-
looked
I've got it
into
here.
the Quran.
Yeah.
I'd have
Yeah,
to
read
look
it
at
to
the
me.
Bible
think that
and
you
pick
should.
points. I mean, I have a
honestly
problem with
think
the
that you
Bible.
should.
I have a
Can I-
pro- and
can I
I'll tell
see
you
a
why I've got a
verse?
problem
Can I
with the
see a-
Bible.
can I show you a verse?
Because it says an eye for an eye, or
tooth
an
for a
inch
tooth.
or
No,
an
bring
inch
it from his
turn
own
the other
book.
cheek.
Yep.
Now, what are you meant to do? An eye for an eye, or is it
Excuse
turn
me?
the other cheek?
Can I show you a
Well,
verse?
let please put it.
No, this
Are
guy's
you going to listen to an answer?
There's a fault.
Are you going to
There's a
listen
fault.
to an answer?
I'm listening. I'm
Are you
Look,
just going
hey,
to
yo, look,
interrupt me?
look, here's
Or
the
are you
verse,
just
here's the
gonna
verse,
interrupt
here's
me?
the verse
So-
about Jesus
You
preaching
see, you're not
violence.
even
Here's the verse.
listening. You talk about dominating.
Here's the verse.
You're
You
not
asked for a
even
verse.
listening.
You asked for a verse. You asked for a verse. Hello. You asked for a verse.
So I'll talk to everybody else.
19:27.
So the question is,
Let me show you the verse.
so the
I'll show you
question
verse.
is,
Luke 19:27.
what do we do?
Jesus said,
What do we do?
For those enemies of mine,
Yes.
you did not want me to be king over them.
Yes.
Bring them here and kill them in front of me. Luke
Right.
19:27.
Starting with him.
So
That's it.
let's
Wait,
look at
what's
Luke
this?
Read the corrupted Bible
19:27.
right now.
Let's look at
It says it right here.
19:27.
Every website
So-
about Bible, it says Jesus
Are you
said,
listening?
but those enemies of
Christian
mine,
manipulation.
you did not want me to kill them. Over them, bring them here and kill them in front of me.
Are you
And
listening?
you're saying that
Are
Muhammad
you
did
listening?
that.
Muhammad was a rapist, a murderer, a paedophile, a slave trader, a desecrator of religious
Show me the verse.
sanctuaries.
Open it.
He was one who had sex with a
Open it.
child.
Open it.
Why should we not
No,
condemn
no.
him?
You told him not to.
Why should we not condemn
No,
him?
you told him not to.
Now
change topics.
notice
Why
you
change
asked the
topics now?
question and you lost
Why change
interest in the
topics?
answer.
Wait.
And
why
that
change-
shows
why change
that you have a
topics?
closed
Bring me the
mind.
verse. Bring me the verse.
So,
Bring me the verse.
let's talk about the verse.
Let me see.
Let's talk, what was it, 1927?
27, yeah.
So,
It better be on your
let's
Bible,
read
that's
it.
correct.
Let's read it. Listen. So he
Go to
said,
the verse.
are you listeing?
Show the verse.
Are you listening?
Show the verse.
Are you
Shall I
listening?
read out the verse to you guys?
I'm literally going to read it.
Go. I don't want no.
Are you listening?
Show me the verse.
Are we going to read?
Show me the verse.
Let me just deal with his point.
You're trying to go back to the verse 20.
Why are you scared of an answer?
You're going to verse 20.
Why are you
Verse
scared of an answer?
Verse 27.
I'll tell you why
Show me
you're
that.
scared of an
Don't
answer.
show 20. No.
Because Muslims have a script, and the moment you take them off the script,
Show verse
they're
27.
clueless and they panic.
This man claimed that
So-
Jesus did not preach war. They
Listen.
violence.
Listen.
They claim that Jesus does not.
Reading from verse 20.
Read 27.
Listen.
27.
Listen.
27. I'm not
Listen.
Gonna,
Why are you afraid?
27. I'll read
Why are you
I'll
afraid?
read it to you guys.
He can read it, and then I'll read it in context.
No, you're going back to verse 20, bro. You're going
Because you're frightened
I'm showing you
to be
that.
taken off your script.
Man, I'll tell you that.
Go on, read your verse.
Luke 19:27, Jesus said, but those enemies of mine who did not want me to be king over them, bring them here and kill them in front of me.
Right.
Did Jesus say that, yes or no?
So,
Did Jesus say that, yes or no?
of course he did.
Thank you.
So,
Your whole argument is wrong.
so,
Your argument
let him walk away. Let him walk away. He's just going to walk away.
You asked him for
Because the thing is,
asked him
the
for
moment you take them off their script, they panic and they run away. Because in context, this passage is at the back of a parable. A parable about the judgment of Christ. And Christ is talking about judgment. The reference to kill them in front of me is talking about those who will be sent to hell. Read the script. So, this is what it says in context. Then the other came saying, Lord, here is your pound. This is in the middle of a parable. Jesus is telling a parable. It's called the parable of the talents. It's about, one second, it's about what you do with the gifts that God gives you. So Jesus says, listen, he said, this is reading from verse 11, I'll skip ahead. As they were listening to this, he went on to tell a parable. And the parable is about what you do with the gifts that God gives you. Now notice, hard man dour guy runs away when we take him off his script. Because the dour gang don't know how to debate the moment you take them away from their pathetic script. This is what the parable says. It reads from verse 20. This is in the middle of the parable. Then the others came saying, Lord, here is your pound. I wrapped it up as a piece of cloth, for I was afraid because of what a harsh man you are. You take what you did not deposit, and you reap what you did not sow. He said to him, I will judge you by your own words, you wicked slave. You knew, did you, that I was a harsh man, taking what I did not deposit and reaping what I did not sow. Why then did you not put my money into a bank? Then when I returned, I could have collected it with interest. He said to the bystanders, take the £10. And they said to him, Lord, he has the £10. I tell you, all those who have more will be given, but those who have nothing, even what they will have, will be taken away. But as for those my enemies, slay them in front of me. This is a parable about the last judgment and about what you do or do not do with the gifts that God gives you. It is not a command to kill people, as the dour idiot tried to suggest. And this is why they run away. Once they delivered their little bit of script, they run away. What's your question? You don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot.
Hashim said a month ago, Muslims attacked the Twin Towers and killed 3,000 people. Do you believe the Muslims carried out that attack?
Yes, Islamists carried out that attack.
No, they did not. That was an inside job. The Twin Towers were turned to dust.
Rubbish.
They were turned to dust.
Rubbish. Rubbish conspiracy nonsense.
No, it's
That
not.
equivocates on who the real criminals were that day. Al-Qaeda admitted to the attack.
No, they didn't.
They claimed the attack.
No, they didn't.
Al-Qaeda claimed the attack.
No, they
And 9/11 happened before the invasion of any Islamic country in the modern period.
And that was a 9/11.
So,
Inside job.
so, there we go. You have a choice. Are you going to be bullied or are you going to stand up for yourselves? It's really that simple.